All right. It's been a while since I've done a blog, what I call the talky crap. And I do enjoy the talky crap, the blogs. I enjoy making them. I don't always post them because I kind of feel cringy. But today I'm riding with, I don't know if you can see him back there, my new riding buddy Peter, rocking the '08 KLR 685, because you can. And we're going up to explore. Going up to explore Mauna Loa because there is a white building up there that I understand is a biosphere. And this is the legend, or at least the way I heard it. The legend is this was a NASA biosphere built a few decades back to explore the possibilities of life on Mars. And I mean, if you think about it, a Martian atmosphere, Mauna Loa is pretty good place to try something like that. But I believe that's it right in front of us. There's two little white buildings, structures up there. One of them, I believe, is the Martian biosphere. So we're gonna go see if we can get to that today. If not, we're gonna explore a couple of the gravel roads. But hopefully straight ahead is that biosphere. And this is further what I've heard is not only was it a former NASA installation, but currently, from what I understand, it is also being used now as a Airbnb, like a bed and breakfast type thing. And I'm not sure, because I know there's no power up there, or at least I'm pretty sure there's no power up there. I don't know. I know there's at least two pretty good sized roads up here. No, actually there's three roads that I know of. I know at least one of them has a gate. No, shit. There's four roads up here. Two of them I know have gates on them. But beyond that, I'm not really sure. One of them looks like it goes a long way. One of them, my other riding buddy Chris up here, rocking the DRZ 400. He said he's ridden down it a little ways, and from what he's seen, it's not too bad. But that's what we're doing today, is exploring. Not looking for too much trouble. I'm not sure how much. Not sure how much riding Peter behind me wants to get into, but we're gonna go as far as we're both comfortable, and kind of like the other thing I told him earlier. We're coming up the hill, and it's I don't know, I wouldn't call it raining. It's more like a misting, sprinkling kind of thing coming up the mountain. And he said, this is where, if I had rain gear, this is where I would put it on. I said, well, I'm not going to put it on, because I told him I had rain gear in case. And he said, I don't, because it gets too hot. And I completely understand. I didn't bring my real rain gear to the island because I knew it would get too hot, and I knew I would probably never wear it, and it's just taking up space. So I brought my thin rain gear, the stuff that I always carry on the bike, a little bit more closer to summer rain gear. But anyway, I said I'm not gonna wear it, because if you're in pain, I want to be in pain too. That way, it's not, I'm not pushing either of us beyond the point of where the least comfortable person is. So anyway, I just thought that's probably a pretty good policy, even though I have no intention of coming up here and freezing to death. So, but we did layer up shortly before the last misty cloud bank we rolled through. But yeah, that's it. This is Peter and I's first ride together. I met him a couple days back. I've seen him riding through the neighborhood. I see all dual sports, and most of them I acknowledge. At one point, shortly after I first got here, every dual sport guy I would see, I would wave at frantically, and sometimes I would chase them down. But I've gotten to the point now where I realize that everybody on this that rides a motorcycle on this island doesn't really ride the motorcycle for pleasure. A lot of people ride their motorcycle or scooter for transportation, and they have no idea what riding a motorcycle for fun means. I think they just said, hey, cheap transportation, and motorcycles are typically cheaper everywhere, but especially on this island, they're much cheaper than buying a car. Most of the cars that you can afford on this island, used cars, are worn out. And most of the time, their asking price is twice of what it is on the mainland. Motorcycles, you can find a reasonable motorcycle. And motorcycles are typically not worn out because people don't ride their motorcycles. Although I did see a DR 650 recently. He was selling it. It's on Facebook. He was advertising this thing with 253,000 miles, and I thought it was a typo. So I got in touch with the guy. I was like, "Really? Is it 253K?" He said, "Yep." I'm like, "Wow!" And it looks pretty clean. It looks like it might have 50, which is why the other reason it was kind of hard to believe. But anyway. So yeah, this is like trip number, I don't know, 5 or 6 with other riders up here. I haven't been up here with Chris yet. I brought Dan, I think a couple of times, and Dave. Well, okay, maybe it's 4 times. Seemed like I brought somebody else up here too. Anyway, I love it up here. When I first started coming up here in the winter, shortly after I got on the island, right after I got my motorcycle, I made a trip up to Mauna Loa behind me and tried to come over here. But every time I tried to come up here in the winter, it was socked in. You couldn't see anything. It was raining, it was cold, and you couldn't see what I'm looking at now. And I'm looking at that up there at a dome. And by God, we're getting to that dome if we can. Yeah, a lot of times, even when it's not raining up here, it's so socked in, so cloudy, you can't really see. But that sure as shit looks like a dome. I can't wait to get up there. Wow, I'm really excited now. It's really funny, I've never seen it this close. It's probably because there's always clouds up here. Yeah, so we rode through a lot of weather coming up. Not strong weather, but weather enough. And now it cleared up, which is what I was hoping for. Usually it's fairly clear up here on the saddle, before 2. And then the clouds start coming in. Anyway. Yeah, I looked at the USGS has maps of lava flows and ages, where the lava went and what year it flowed. So there's one road, and I'm not sure how far that goes. I want to get up here to this dome first. We can come back and go down that one later. But, and that looks like a quarry. Yeah, I want to get up to that biosphere, and we could do whatever later. But right now, I have a singular mission. I want to get up to that damn dome and see what that's all about, because I just think that's the coolest thing. And it's even more shocking now because it's right in front of the road. Almost half the time we've been riding, it's been right there. So I don't know how to explain. Maybe there's been clouds every time I've been up here, sitting right there. But maybe it's just been I haven't been paying attention. I always have so much fun on this curvy ass road and drive way too fast on it. That could quite possibly be worth half the times that I missed it. And then easily the other half could have been clouds, because this is a very cloudy place. Anyway, what I was saying about the USGS. USGS has lava flow maps. So in other words, it's a map of each volcano. or sections of each volcano, and it shows you the lava flow patterns and dates. And I'm pretty sure all this lava that we're driving across right now is more than a couple hundred years old. It's very light brown colored, which typically means it's pretty old. But looking at the map, I'm pretty sure none of this lava has flowed in the last 200 years. So, Mauna Loa, the volcano we're on currently, is active. It's just nowhere near as active as Kilauea. So people take Mauna Loa for granted. Or granite. If you take it for granted, you're wrong, because it's basalt. That's a little geology joke there. Yeah, so I've had some coffee today, but I'm a little sluggish. I think we're about 8,000 feet now. There's little markings on the road here, which I love, which aren't present, as far as I know, on Mauna Kea. Maybe, but there's markings on the road here telling you altitude. And it seems like it's every 1,000 feet. It may be every 500 feet, which would be even cooler. So I think we're getting up close to the height of the dome. I'm just wondering if we're going to be able to see the road to get to it up here. I don't want to pass it. Which is why I'm really shocked that I could see the dome where it was. Now it's just completely disappeared. I think we're going to have to take that road over there to find it. So I looked on Google Earth this morning, and I did not see that dome. So maybe that dome is even more recent, because I was told 20 or 30 years ago it was built. But if it was 5 years ago it was built, then it's possible that Google Earth does not have a picture of it. But it's gone now, unless I'm looking at the wrong place. But not only that, I don't see a road for it. Yeah, so I'm trying to remember this lava flow right here. I don't. But it seemed like most of the lava was a little bit more towards the center in the last couple hundred years. Even the 1984 flow. 1984 flow was a little bit, well, let's see. I bet that's it. Let's go that way anyway. We're going to go find out. Did you see the dome coming up? It was right in front of the road. The dome coming up was right in front of the road. I don't know if you saw it.
Yeah.
So you didn't see it?
Oh, I saw it's over that way, isn't it?
Well, I think it's over that way now, because that's where we came in. So we were looking at it about half the time. It was right in front of the road. I've never noticed it that close to the road before. The only time I've seen it has been from the saddle, which is why I've never made that much of an attempt to get over here, because I didn't know how to get to it. But this looks like a pretty well-maintained road. This doesn't look like the one I looked at this morning on Google Maps, so
check it out.
Let's.
The road down there.
Right. I think that's the straight one that goes all the way across the volcano, but
I don't know where that comes out. I rode it one time with a guy. I think I was telling you, but he was getting a little. He wasn't a real confident dirt rider. He
Right.
was getting a little
Squirrely.
squirrely.
Yeah.
Stressed out. He didn't want to go the whole route.
Well, this looks perfect to me. Yeah, let's go check it out. See how far we can get it, at least. It looks like it goes over that ridge over there, that dark ridge, maybe.
We'll go as far as we can go.
Absolutely.
Come to a gate, or we'll
That's me. That's exactly what I say. So, yeah, that's Peter. Yeah, who knows what we're going to find out here, because I've kind of stayed off of these typically because I'm on other missions when I've come up here, and I've never been that intrigued. But I started talking to Chris about doing one of these roads, or all of them, and he was all in, except those guys are going, they're doing a big circle today. Dave is running out of time on the island. Well, I am too, but Dave has been wanting to do the big loop, the big island loop, for a while, and those guys have been talking about it, and I've been trying to convince them to do something else forever. So I figured I would stop trying to talk them out of doing that, and just tell them, go into a little bit better detail about why I wasn't interested in the loop. And it's not that I don't want to see the island. I'm just not interested in much of anything on the Kona side. So, and a lot of traffic, a lot of lights, just a lot of things I'm not really interested. I want to see beautiful country. Well, shit. I think we found our gate. Fuck. Well, that answers that question. Well, let's go see what we can see this way.
Yeah, we'll keep going on up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. If this was military, I think they'd have more official-looking ships.
I'm even more interested now. I'm really going to have to find out what that thing is, because it looks totally exactly what they were describing to me. So I'm even more interested. But at least we know there's a gate.
We tried.
Yeah. Restricted. I take restricted to mean, oh, that's a pretty cool fucking vent right there. That's a very cool vent. Well, this is another thing, is how often do you get to go out in the middle of a lava field? Oh, wow, there's another one. Holy crap. That is a very cool vent. Very cool vents out here. Yeah, I have a funny suspicion that we're going to spend a few minutes up here on Mauna Loa, and then we're going to wind up on Mauna Kea. 8,000 feet. That's what that last marker said. 8,000 feet. Yeah, so this is all Pahoehoe we're riding across now, which is the very slow moving, very thick, viscous lava that comes out. It's generally pretty stable. It's shiny typically. I think this is newer. This is a newer lava flow. I think this is probably within this last, I don't know, 100 years. We'll say at least, because this is a light gray. I would say this is probably 1920s maybe. And then you see this jagged stuff that we're crossing now. This is the This is the other type of lava that you see all over the island. It's very unstable, very brittle, and most importantly, it's very sharp. So this is the lava that comes out and moves down here very rapidly. It's hotter typically, has a lot more gas, and the bubbles are bigger. So when it cools, it breaks into chunks, small chunks that are like razor blades. So that's why I'll warn people that come to the island to stay off of this stuff. And sometimes you gotta be very careful on the Pahoehoe, but as a general rule, you can walk on that flat, shiny stuff without getting hurt if you're watching where you step. In general, there are some exceptions. Like there's some spots on the 2018 lava from Kilauea. There's some spots on that lava that look just like Pahoehoe, but they're only 2 or 3 inches thick. And when they break, they snap into that razor sharp shards of almost glass that will cut you to ribbons if you fall into it. So you got to be careful on the lava, but especially on this nasty stuff like this. So if you are visiting Hawaii, the Big Island, there is so much to see and do here, especially when it comes to volcanoes. Let's see if we can go somewhere on this road. I'm sorry, let's see how far we can go on this road. This one is bound to be a little bit nastier than the last one. Well, I don't know, maybe not too bad. Looks like they brought in some tougher cinder here. Wow, look at Mauna Loa today. I don't know if you can see up there, but you can see the observatories, 3 or 4 of them up there. Yeah, this is how they get signals from one side of the island to the other. Those are microwave antennas, and they cut through the clouds. And these others are probably shortwave, maybe. I don't recognize those antennas, but they're bouncing across the islands. And this trail looks like it goes a pretty good ways. I don't know how far I want to go down on this bike, but lots of antennas around here. Wow, this road goes for a while. Look at that. I really don't know what's down here besides antennas, so I don't know if you're interested in going down further?
Yeah, I don't know. Power line road looks like it goes.
Yeah, that may be all it is, just power lines. I don't know.
I could take it or leave it.
Okay, well, that's my answer.
Yeah, non-committal.
Well, I mean, if we thought there was something down here that might be kind of cool, I just wanted to see what. I mean, I knew there was antennas up here because I see them, but
How about we go down to that to the horizon where it rises up?
yeah, yeah,
Then we can look beyond there. And
sounds good to me.
maybe we'll see something revelatory.
I'll follow you. I don't get some footage of you, so. I think he said revelatory. We might see something revelatory. Like there may be some amazing discovery. We discover a a spacecraft abandoned here thousands of years back. Yeah. If you watch my channel enough, you may have seen something I posted a few months back. Never went into great detail about that. Because people typically don't believe you when you talk about stuff like that. Including me. I'm skeptical, you know. But when you find stuff buried under lava, so I was talking about Dave. Dave is leaving the island and he's taking his big tin array with him. He is going to ship it, and I never even considered that until he told me. I think he said it was only like $800 to ship your bike, and I'm not sure what I can sell this bike for, even if I can sell it. So.
Should I crash to make a good GoPro video?
What now?
Should I crash? You gotta have a crash.
Oh yeah. Yeah, absolutely. If you're gonna crash, I might as well get it on video. That's what I always say. I don't want to encourage you to do stupid shit, but if you're gonna do stupid shit, make sure I'm behind you.
This dirt looks pretty soft right here. But I don't want to crash on a big pile of rocks.
Yeah.
We'll find some good soft sand.
Yeah. Yeah, so Dave is gonna ship his bike, and when he started telling me how much it was, I was like, well, shit, that's not out of my range. Not only that, I like having two bikes. I mean, this is not my favorite bike, but it's a capable bike. It carries my big ass around, and you can see I'm going really slow compared to Peter on that KLR, which I would say is another capable bike. Neither one of these are the best machines for anything. And this is I don't even know, cross-country bike. I know I'm probably good on the seat of this thing for probably 2 or 3 hours, which makes it good potential. I've taken a V-Strom. That we call these the V-Stroms. This is a 650, but I've taken the V-Strom across country a couple times, and that was a very capable bike on most of the stuff that I did. But anyway, I'm just considering it just because it would be nice to not have to sell this bike, because I may have to take a hit on the money to be able to get off the island anytime soon. Other than that, sit and wait. But anyway, just some considerations, because this is when comparing off-road abilities, this bike with the RT, I'd say this one has much better possibilities. All right now. Yeah, this is not bad. This is a little bit nicer than I expected. I mean, I wasn't expecting to come down this road, but I had this road in mind as long as it didn't have a gate on it. I figured if any of these roads had a gate on it, it would be this one, because there's equipment on it. But you know, if you think about it, it is also a power line road, which makes this thing interesting to me. I'm very interested on the other side of Observatory Road, because that's where all the military stuff is. But okay, yeah, it's these steps that get me, because I don't have much clearance, and I'm almost 300 pounds. So I've done enough plate bashing to this point. I think we've probably seen enough. I don't know. I almost kind of want to go down there, but I also think maybe.
It's an interesting road.
Look, let's go down just a little bit more, and I mean, we got nothing else to do, right?
Oh, I don't mind. That's why they call it adventure riding.
Yeah. I was just thinking, yeah, are we going to see anything else interesting? Well, shit, if we saw some of those vents, any more of those vents, I'd be interested in those. There's a little cave back there. Maybe that's what I should be doing, slowing down and looking for the geologic features. It's starting to get a little bit rough here, so just the downhill sections. Yeah, this is not the best off-road bike, but it's it's a good bit more agile than that RT. And in fact, I think it's probably about the same clearance. Maybe this might have an inch on the RT, but and this one doesn't have head sticking out, so yeah, I think he said it right. That's why they call it adventure riding. Yeah, I'd have to agree with that. Totally. You're exploring. Although I've heard several people say it's not an adventure until things start to break. I hate that. I don't like that type of adventure. I don't like to break things. The bike, myself, equipment, none of that stuff. All right, we may be getting close to our turnaround point. Right around the next rise, we'll see if there's anything up there. If not, we'll whip it around. But yeah, I was not expecting a good long ride down a power line road. Although, yeah, I guess I wasn't really thinking about how they got the power in here. I knew it came in somewhere, but I also thought, well, you know, this is still an active volcano. Where are they gonna put power lines that they're not gonna be endangered from lava?
This looks like a forever road.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, you do good on the big beast. Yeah, that's a beastly bike.
Well, it's not sprung for me. I don't have a lot of clearance, so this is about as far as that bouncing on the rocks. I bashed this plate so much, it's like, yeah, I think I'm about at my limit. I think it's probably gonna start getting worse here at some point.
The further you go, and like that one that shot off to the left, that looks like that might become a goat trail.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm real careful, especially if it's downhill like that. It's really hard to turn this bike around when you go, oh, it's time to bail. Oh, I'm barely standing up here, much less And this thing does pretty good when it's moving, but when it's just starting out, if you're on a steep incline, it just scratching, just trying to get going. It just kind of sits there and buries itself.
You got to keep your momentum.
Yeah. Well, which is,
You don't have a 21 either. The 21
yep,
on the front helps roll over
yep,
all that stuff a lot easier.
yep.
Yeah, you're a beast, man. I don't know how these guys do it. I see some guys on GS 1200s with tons of shit.
Well, that's what shocked me about that Tenere, that big 1200. It just glides over stuff like this. I was blown away. Even with street tires, I would have rather ridden that damn Tenere off Mauna Road than this.
Really?
In fact, I said, hey man, if you want to swap, because he didn't have. I mean, the tires. I could overcome the tires. It's the suspension that I was. I was bam, 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 everything.
He gets good tires and gets
Yeah.
experience.
That's what I told him. You need some good tires. Some 70-30 something. Something better than what he had.
That and some time in the dirt.
Yeah.
That's the thing you need.
Well, he impressed me with what he did.
He may have some natural ability for dirt riding.
Yeah. All right.
We'll get
Something about riding through the lava. Just something that gives me a thrill. So I think this every dual sport rider on this island should have this road in mind. Just because it's dirt, it's not that difficult, and you can see some lava up close where not very many people see this, I would think. Power line road off the observatories. Yeah. I was not expecting this to be on the list of attractions today, and I think unfortunately I was right there at my comfort limit. I mean, if I had to go from point A to point B, I'm sure I could have probably made it to the bottom. It's just that climbing back up, trying to keep your momentum. And this, I really haven't had that much traction issues yet. It's just the bumps. And there's a few steps going up. I'm not trying to remember where the hell they are. Yeah, but this is a pretty well maintained road, I would say overall. I guess, they have to have pretty good sized trucks get in and out occasionally to maintain the power lines, but overall this is not bad. This is the kind of road I'm riding over right now. Is, I would say, the majority. It's a little bit of sand in here, but overall not too rough. Even a big bike. I think that big Tenere could come in here. With obviously it's always going to do better with better tires on it, but he could certainly get in there and out. I mean, at least seeing what we could do on that thing on Mauna Loa, which was very loose in so many spots. Yeah, so this bike on the mainland, yeah, this may be a lot closer to what I need. Except, man, I love those freaking locking cases on that RT. Holy crap, those are awesome. Couple of big cinder cones up at the top of the hill. Yeah, I don't remember ever coming up here when it was this clear. So yeah, this is there's always been clouds up here, seems like. And the clouds that you see up here now are pretty high. Those are probably 15, 20,000 feet. And then down below you got the 7,000 foot, 8,000 foot inversion layer. Nine miles. What is this, a 22-mile road, I think? So that means we're less than halfway. That can't be right. 8,500 feet. Yep. So we're doing the whole 500 foot increments. Yeah, this brown lava, that stuff's really old. Ain't no telling how old that stuff. That could be 500 years old. Yeah, we're a lot more than halfway. I don't think we're 5 miles from the end of the road. Yeah, so it's a shocking difference this side of the mountain. Shocking difference from this side and the other side. This stuff is brown and black and red. The other side is lush green vegetation. So I'm not really sure why there's such a difference. If it's just so cold up here all the time, that could easily be it, because it's quite cold up here. So, you know, relatively similar, maybe climate to Mauna Loa, which you could see, I think at about 9,000 feet it starts turning into cinder. So, but almost all the way down here is lava. There's a few small bushes growing in here, but almost no grass. So I think the bushes that you're seeing is probably ohia. I don't think I've ever noticed a amazing difference in the colors. I mean, I know you can look at it from Saddle Road and see there's a bands of colors in here. Just I've never seen the deep browns and the light browns up close like this, because it's always overcast up here. Almost always. This is the clearest I've ever seen it up here. Well, while I've been up here, I've driven down the saddle and seen, you know, up to the summit several times. But so this is 9,000 feet we just passed, and we're about up to the turn up to, I believe this is going to be the other road. Yep. Now that road goes up to the summit. This road goes to the summit. Yeah, the one at the end of the road does too. So apparently it's a big loop. I'm pretty sure that's the summit right there. So.
Yeah, I know people hike it. You can walk it from the other end.
Not me. Maybe you. I tried hiking up there at 13,000 feet. I went to Lake Waiau. I don't know if you know about that lake.
Yeah, I've never seen it, but I know about it.
Yeah, so it's a short hike from right there and that first switchback, the paved switchback that starts going up there, you park right there and you hike out there. It's, 3/4 of a mile, and it's pretty gentle. But man, it wore me out. I mean, I was out of breath, headache.
The altitude kicks your ass. I was up there the other day. I went up pretty much by the top where that peak is, where they got like a hideout built up there.
Yeah.
And there's a sign that says, "Don't go hike up there. This is culturally
Right.
sensitive." I had to go up, and just walking up that, it's short
Yeah.
but a pretty steep little hill.
Yep.
I was definitely feeling it in the lungs.
Right.
I do pretty good at high altitude.
Yeah, that's my thing. Is like my heart rate goes up. That's what scares me. I go up to like 120 just walking. It's like, I don't know. Yeah, that looks like a pretty decent road. I think it switches back a couple times, then takes you up to the summit, and then we'll go up to the end up here and see the other road.
I generally don't sneak around gates, but that looks like a no sneak around.
Totally. This other one up here, I think you can get around it, but I talked to, there was a university professor coming down the hill at this one up here. I talked to him a few minutes. I was like, so what's the odds of me getting the key to this gate or getting permission? He said, I've been up here doing research. I mean, he went up there to collect snow samples. He said, I've been doing research for 12 years, and I've asked several times. They won't give me a key, so. Yeah, I think this is just to evacuate hikers and shit like that, so. Which is why you got a landing pad there. Dead hikers. Yeah, that makes me not want to go up there even more. I mean, I'm dying to go up there. Just, if I go up there, I want to go up in a Jeep. Yeah! They should let us up.